Hello and welcome to our second session of Tachyon Squadron, which is a variant book, a variant set of rules with Fate Core as its primary engine. You need Fate Core to play it. It's by Clark Valentine. This is a game I watched him run a couple of times at Origins Games on Demand. It looked very cool, and I backed the Kickstarter. The book is quite good, and they have a lot of really interesting supplementary materials in PDF format if you go on to DriveThruRPG and check that out under Evil Hat. It's quite good and has a space fighting, dogfighting system that I think is really interesting and adaptable. We are going to take up tonight with sort of following the last mission. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I'm the GM. And this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming club / community that you can find out more about at gauntlet-rpg.com. It's a place to go and see what we do. We've got a big calendar of things. We've got podcasts. We've got a blog. We've got lots of stuff. It's very, very interesting. I'm going to have our players introduce themselves in just a second and their characters, and then we'll frame up where we left off last time. I will have a couple mechanical things to note for Ezekiel and Katya that I made a small note of, but I'll come back to that in a second. Just wanted to say that. But let me go quickly over lines and veils, because when I start talking about lines and veils, that means anybody who's watching this video and objects to that can then just hit the stop button. So our lines and veils for the game, we have a hard lines on epidemics, graphic gore, harm to animals, harms to children, homophobia, racism not an issue, sexism not an issue, no sexual assault as a thing to be played out at the table, torture by the PCs, that's mine. I never want to see that. That's not a thing I ever want to see at the table. It's not a game I want to play. Transphobia as well, and any kind of detailed or graphic descriptions of deliberately inflicted head trauma. Those things are all off the table. We still got 99% of the game space left after that. We do have veils, meaning that will fade to black or if issues of mind control were to appear, and especially we're going to really be wary of mind control as it affects PCs or NPCs, but I don't think that'll necessarily be an issue. We'll fade to black on sexual content, or if villains engage in torture, that's a fade to black as well. Those are our important things. Not that I need to go over, but we also have a romance matrix for players to see whether they're interested in romance with NPCs, PCs, or just not. We established that at the top as part of the tools that we use. We are also using the X card, and we also have an open door policy in play. So with all of that out of the way, and we have one pilot who's out tonight, but I do want to have the others describe who they are, give us a brief introduction of who you are, your pronouns, and then your character pronouns, and the basics about them. We're going to walk across the character keeper starting from position 2 with Butterfly.
Hi there, my name is Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Tonight I'll be playing Elsie Lucas, a wide-eyed farm girl who wanted to see the galaxy and joined up because she thought that this volunteer fighter pilot militia of sorts would be a good way to do that. So far it hasn't been exactly quite that, but she's seen a lot of things that she never would have seen otherwise.
Excellent. And you were one of the people from the last dogfight that didn't even get touched, didn't even have your shield scraped. You managed to walk away without getting tagged. You can reset your fate points back to 3 since it started a session, and your refresh is 3.
Okay.
Are you still good with all of your aspects and stunts and things, or anything you want to change right now?
Nothing that I can think that I want to change at the moment.
Okay.
So far, all the stunts and gear and everything like that seem to be exactly part of who she is last session. So I'll stick with them.
Sounds good. Next, we're going to come to call sign Mockingbird.
Hi, I'm Brandon, he, and I'm playing Ekaterina Domanova, goes by Katya. and the call sign Mockingbird. She is a veteran pilot who has, despite a brief stint as a flight instructor, has basically bucked to the hierarchy in order to stay on the combat line. And while she joined out of patriotism, she stayed in order to keep her fellows from being killed to the best of her ability. She has seen too many rookie pilots die through lack of cohesion and poor orders, and she has a bit of survivor's guilt as a result. She also has a tongue, that I said, could cut titanium if you get on her wrong side. And that may explain why many of her relationships terminate loudly and abruptly.
Are you good with all of your aspects and your stunts so far?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, excellent.
The only thing I was considering is whether to swap out Boris for a Slapjack.
Okay.
Because I think I may do that because it just seems to accord with her personality.
Okay, sounds
It's
good.
one of those telescoping spring-loaded rods. Very, very useful in a dust up.
That brings us to call sign Zeus.
I'm Harry, he, him pronouns. I'm going to be playing Ezekiel Gunderson, he, him pronouns as well. Call sign is Zeus. It's an acronym for zero effort unless supervised. That says a lot about his personality. If you can find a way to not pull duty when not flying, he'll do it. But he's also the squadron scrounger. So it's kind of like in his downtime is that he goes around and he tries to find, parts for everybody and stuff like that. And he also just loves to gamble a lot. So, and he tends to have a crush problem, crushing on other people and other people crushing on him and him not knowing. And so it's a little bit out there, a little bit anime-ish, but it's fun.
That's fine. So last time we had a quick dogfight to get a handle on the rules, and two mechanical things I've noticed between then and now, and I'm sure I've missed other things, but I'll tell you two things that I'll clarify. One is if you are tailing someone and they are destroyed or removed or whatever, or break the tail on you, then on that following turn, when we go to that maneuver phase, you'll re-roll your tactics roll. So you reset your thing, essentially destroying your target may shift you as you pull out from that. So that's one minor mechanical thing. That's not too bad. The other thing is when you do get hit, you mark a stress on your pilot. So I went back on Ezekiel and Ekaterina, and I marked a stress on each of you to note that that happened. Even when it hit your shields, it is rocking your world. And the more hits that you take, each time you get hit, you will mark another stress or take a consequence. And so we see the four of you returning back to base, coming back in, and essentially as soon as you land, there's some sort of higher placed tactics officer person who will come, and he grabs legacy, and he'll kind of send just effectively a text over to your pad, Katya, to say that legacy is required for some external duties. You'll be running your team with 3 for the time being.
Says Katya says out loud that she is.
And Caden doesn't look happy about it, and he is pulled off. You have the sense maybe that this is maybe something to do with his family, maybe something to do with some PR, something like that. So you will get you will see him get yanked away. Now, this game is a little more structured than Fate in that when we come to between missions, it's a little bit like Downtime from Blades in the Dark. If you've played that, you get a couple of actions to take for that. Essentially, everybody's going to get 2 actions. And one that you have to take is if you have marked stress, you have to recover from the stress through discipline. Essentially, that is one of your actions. It is a thing that you do. It's the first thing you do after mission. Not just a mission, but any scene where you take stress is attempt to dispel that stress. This is pretty easy. This doesn't actually take time, but it is an action that you want to do. So essentially, if you're unable to clear your stress with a discipline roll, then you're going to have to spend one of your actions doing this. So let's have that done. The difficulty is about a stress you have. So this should be pretty easy. Katya, what's your discipline?
Discipline is 2.
Okay, then there's almost no chance you could fail.
Such things are never spoken aloud.
That is what I'm always going to say out loud to players.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to the boxing ring.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my discipline out, going 3 rounds with whoever will stand up against me. And that's a 3.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're able to get in there. Some people that you've sparred with before. Probably the physical training officer is there, giving you pointers and then asking you to spar with a couple of the younger folks because he knows that you're good with them, and you can clear that stress box. And then Ezekiel, what's your discipline?
My discipline is 1. That's here. Do I have to pick how I'm doing it first?
No, you just roll, and this is essentially for you. This is less you doing your activity and more you like getting your thoughts together.
Okay. All right. So that is going to be 2, 3. So I think that beats 1.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So likewise, you're able to kind of get yourself settled afterwards, and you're pleased that your ship isn't banged up beyond the shields. The shields don't take anything to repair, so they're pretty easy.
So I'm lounging in my rack and daydreaming, just passing time then.
So let me talk about what your options are in terms of these actions for off-duty in between missions. You have 2 ways to recover from stress. Let's say you didn't make your discipline roll and you still had some stress left. You can recover from stress with your good side decompress action, or you can recover from stress by raising hell with the bad side of your decompress action. The other things that you can do are fix your ship. If you had taken actual structural damage, that would be a thing to repair, essentially up to 6 instances of damage within that. And that when you do that, you can do it on all the ships. So let's say that if we had a bunch of damage across ships, Ezekiel could go and repair 6 instances worth of that as his action with technology. You can go shopping. This is when you want to find maybe some hard to find items or things that are through less than official channels. And before we get to these actions, I want to talk about some of the loadout you guys are going to have. You can nose around, like go and see what's going on, try and figure out what's happening, why things are happening. You can visit the doctor. That's what you have to do if you actually took a consequence. You can sleep. If you don't sleep as one of your 2 actions, then that will build up. If you skip your night's sleep, you're going to mark 2 shifts of damage that is going to be on you until the next time you get a chance to sleep. And then other activities, if there's something else you want to describe about what your character is doing, you can do that. So that is all on you. Before we get too much further, let's talk about the loadout that your company is given. You have your basic fighters, your Blackfish fighters there. You can clear your shield boxes. Everything is good on those. But if you look at the bottom of the ships page there, there's a set of equipment that you have been given that you will divvy out amongst your group. And things that are marked with a asterisk are consumable. And you can divide those items out as you wish. So effectively, if you use that Vulcan's hammer missile, it is gone until you can try and requisition or squeeze resources out of folks to get that. Now, if you want, I could tell you what these things do. The Vulcan's hammer missile is a standard single target missile. It uses technology as its skill, and it allows you to maximize a die and does a bunch of damage. So that's pretty sweet. It also is highly effective against shields. And it occupies one modular bay on your ship. Now, let me check with the Blackfish and see how many modular bays you have. Because, of course, I forgot to note that down. You have 2 modular bays. The Vortex Missile is an area effect missile. It attacks up to 4 ships in the same slot of the maneuver chart. And if you use it to send out a swarm, it'll success will eliminate 2 aspects, not just 1. It's not effective against large targets. Again, technology is used for this. It maximizes a die when you use it. And it also takes a slot. Unguided rocket swarms are a dozen rockets with explosive warheads. That uses pilot as your attack skill and does a bunch when you hit. It is consumable as well. So those are all the big weapons that you can divvy out. And you don't have to take everything out on a mission, especially if your ship gets blown up, then those things are gone. Some of the other things I'm going to go through briefly. Essentially, the inertial suppression system allows you to maximize a die for defend actions to avoid weapon attacks. The shield boosters recharges your shield generators faster. And at the start of your attack phase, you increase your shield rating by 1 up to your allowable maximum. And that takes 2 spaces rather than 1. The Haymaker Particle Accelerator adds 1 to your weapon rate attacks for your weapons and occupies 2. So essentially +1 to all your damage for 2 bays. The Hawkeye Sensor Booster allows you to maximize 2 dice for your detect actions at the start of an encounter. It only occupies 1 bay. The Adaptive Computation node allows you in the second maneuver phase to maximize a die in your action to determine your placement. And then after that, in the third and subsequent rounds, allows you to maximize 2 dice. And it occupies 1 bay. And then you have 1 Blackfish replacement fighter. You've got 1 spare. So maybe we want to talk about how you want to divide your loadout before you go on a mission. Anyone like, given my character, this looks like the thing I ought to have.
Rockets.
What was the inertial suppression unit again?
So the inertial suppression unit, it allows you to maximize one of your dice, like change a blank or a minus to a plus when you're making your defend roll against enemy gunfire.
Okay.
The rocket volleys, unguided rocket volleys use pilot, and the Vulcan hammer and the Vortex missiles use tech to resolve their effect. So, Ezekiel, you're saying you want one of the rocket volleys, or do you want one of the missiles?
Elsie,
Oh no, rockets.
Okay.
What's your pleasure?
Do you want 2 bays worth of rockets, Zeus, or just one?
Just one, and I'll see what everybody else wants and see if there's anything left, because we have a limited
There's going
number,
to be
right?
quite a bit left.
Yeah.
This is the more loadout than we can get into for craft.
Katya, do you want second pick?
No, I will give it to Elsie.
Elsie, what would you like?
Is there anything that improves piloting ability?
The inertial damper will allow you to maximize your ability to dodge, which uses piloting.
Yeah.
Which Lowell just said. The adaptive computation node just allows you to have a bonus when you're changing your position and move up that ladder, correct?
Yeah, essentially when you do that overcome action to determine where you are on the chart, on the second and then third on rounds, it'll make it easier for you to shift. It's used if you're it's most useful for pilots who like to take the tactical refocus action.
Yeah, and that would be, it'd be useful for Elsie, but probably not as much as it would be for other players, considering how I'm thinking of Elsie as somebody who doesn't want to actually kill.
Okay.
I think the inertial suppression unit, just in terms of like dodging, would be useful for her.
Should we put down butterfly for that?
Yeah, and then do I add that up under, do I add that anywhere besides down at the bottom here?
So I need to make a space for that to put the modules in. So
Okay.
in fact, let me do this. I'm going to add a couple of rows here. And let me quickly draw down. So you can start sort of at the bottom of the features section.
Mm-hmm.
Merge cells. And put that in there is probably the easiest place for you to record that. Let me quickly get this last thing set. For those of you might be watching at home, I'll quickly show you kind of this. We're using a Google Sheet here to manage our characters. I'll show you real quickly on that. And we've got that set up. These are the ship pages, character pages, and then when we actually get to engagements, we've got a tracker for that. So Katya, Elsie's made her first pick. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, since I nicknamed my Blackfish Rasputin, that it has a shield booster.
Okay.
It has got that name because it has taken more fire than any single fighter should, and still have been brought back.
Okay, so that'll take up both bays.
Yes.
We swing back to Zeus. You've got one more space if there's something you want to put in your other
I really like the sound of the Hawkeye sensor booster, unless Elsie wants to take a crack at that one. It's all right with you. So I like the chance to get a drop on the enemy.
Does that work for you, Elsie?
Fine by me.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like it's a more aggressive or attack oriented piece of tech. So,
okay. And then we're back to you, Elsie. Is there another piece of tech that you would like to take?
So Zeus took the sensor booster.
Mhm.
What does the particle accelerator do again?
So the particle accelerator there is the haymaker.
Mhm.
And the haymaker is essentially increases your ship's damage, your weapon rating by
Okay, yeah.
1.
Yeah. Well,
And-
and I just realized that takes 2 slots,
Takes
so I
2
couldn't
slots.
actually take it anyway. I guess the adaptive computation node.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it certainly gives you some additional options to maneuver and support the rest of your team.
All right.
So Elsie, you've got 2 actions between missions.
Mhm.
What do we want to do first? What do we want to play with first? Do you think you're going to sleep? Not sleep?
Oh, I'm definitely going to sleep.
Okay.
But I think that'll probably be the second action. I suspect after the dogfight, I need to wind down a bit. And do any of our ships need repair?
No, nobody took internal
Anything past
systems
shields?
hits. Yeah.
I mean, whenever I come out of a mission, I need to come down first. And so
Mhm.
I'm looking for something to do with my hands. So I think I'm just going to go down to the cargo bay and hop into a loader and
Okay.
start moving cases around and working with the people down there.
You will be down there working on that. What do you think you're hauling around?
It's something trivial. It's probably like some sort of rations, like meals ready to eat or something like that, for if they can't get food up here, fresh food up here. So it's stuff that just needs to go in a storage bay. But it's nothing expensive. It's nothing that's really significant. I mean, I could drop this and it wouldn't matter.
Mhm. You've been moving stuff around for a few hours, getting yourself kind of in that mindset. When the loader that you're in, you'll hear that on the window, and you'll see Quincy Philman. He's the general supply officer.
Mhm.
He, gestures for you to take your ear protection off, and he says, "Elsie, the XO is down here and wants to have a conversation with you."
Is he mad?
I don't know. She's hard to read.
Yeah. Right. You want to just like leave this here? Do I put it someplace? Or
I'll wrap it. Head down. You'll see her. She's in her hover chair,
Gotcha.
a little impatiently.
All right. I'll double time it then.
Okay.
And I hop down and I literally run over.
Okay. And you see XO Maruyama there. She's lost her legs from the knees down.
Mhm.
She's in a well-made anti-grav unit, and she will say, "Pilot Lucas, we need to have a conversation over in the." Kind of looks around. Let's go into the snack room here.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll follow her in.
Yeah, she floats in, and people hop to attention, and she says, "Clear the room." And these people will clear the room quickly, and kind of giving you a look like, "Oh shit."
They will see an audit, like an actual gulp.
Pilot Lucas, I've been going over the tactical report from your last mission.
Yes, ma'am.
Good flying. Well done. Thinned the swarms. I note here two things that cause me concern. One is during the operation, it certainly took a more defensive stance, shall we say.
Yes, ma'am.
That normally would make me okay. Some people get into an overly defensive approach, but we need those pilots as well. But you let the other ship go.
Permission to speak freely, ma'am?
You can have my permission to speak freely, but I want you to understand the consequences of the next words that you speak.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, no disrespect. I know what I'm good at, ma'am. I am good at flying and drawing fire and setting up opportunities for the other pilots to make kill shots. I was not flying defensively per se so much as I was trying to get the attention of those other pilots of the opposing forces and get them to shoot at me. As far as the other thing goes, I grew up on a farm, ma'am. Learned a lot. I learned that there are times you have to kill when predators threatening food animals, feed animals, and whatnot. And there are times you don't. And one of the most important things I learned on a farm, ma'am, is that fixing a shot up, anything that's damaged, is a hell of a lot harder than getting a new one. I mean, when something's broken, you can tell it's broken. You just replace it, even if it's expensive. But when you can fix it, doesn't matter how much time it takes to fix it. They expect you to patch on whatever metal you can find whatever gears will fit. They got to scavenge everything. And that piece of machinery is out of order until that's done, which means anybody operating it's out of order. They got to find resources to repair something, and they've got to have people fixing it. Something my dad told me about the wars he was in, ma'am. You kill somebody, all you got to bring back is their dog tag. You wound somebody, you got to take them back. Then they're in some sort of hospital, so you got to have doctors to fix them up, and you got to have nurses to take care of them during that period of time. They may not be able to get back, ma'am. They may have to train somebody else to do it. So I don't like killing, ma'am, especially if I don't have to, and especially when it seems like it's going to take the other side a hell of a lot more to get that thing up and running again than it's actually worth. And in the meantime, that pilot just sits idle.
Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
That was lovely and incredibly long-winded. I want you to understand that we are at war. That we are at war with a force that will kill us, that will destroy our people, and that doesn't pay attention to costs. We are smaller. We have to be smarter. We have to deal with the threats that are given to us. We have to be able to do that. I have to know that when the time comes to take those kill shots to protect the Combine, that you're going to do that.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Dismissed.
And I'll walk out looking sheepish and kind of hanging my head.
Good combo, though. Good stuff. Let's come to Katya. What is your first of your two actions here? You are muted, I think.
She wants to talk to Elsie, but that's not an action.
Okay.
So her action, so that'll unless it is.
No, we can do the character interaction scenes. Like, I think that falls a little bit outside of that.
Okay. She's inner quarters video logging.
Okay.
Which she does after missions, and whenever anything crosses her mind that she desires to give a piece to something.
What's your video log like?
It's basically this is it's called it's called something like 18 foot from nose to tip. And he says, this is Katya Domanova. And as usual, I'm writing about going into space in a tiny, fragile box and hoping that speed and good luck bring you back.
And how much do you give out about yourself? Like what do the people who follow you, like, what do they know? Do they know exactly who you are, or are you anonymizing it? What do you think?
I am sticking to military regulations straight down the line, because even though this is only shared within the military, but people who are here often know who I am talking about, even though I don't name them. And she, so, for example, she talks about ridiculous obligations and taking pilots off the front line, causing detriments to combat readiness, which is a reference to Caton, and anybody who knows very much about Caton can probably read between the lines. People like her attitude, and that is why she is highly viewed. She has something snarky to say about almost everything, and she likes to bitch about the things that people like to bitch about, such as the quality of the food, but every so often a harrowing story of sheer terror out in the front lines.
And what do you think? I mean, that's certainly the public and the people and amongst your, doing military cover stuff. What do you think the higher ups? What's their reaction / perception of this?
I think it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
Some of them think that this is basically this is inappropriate. It's gossipy, and she skirts the lines on what is what could be giving away intelligence, although it would require a very sophisticated thing. The couple of times she's been called in, it's been decided on her side, but not necessarily by very much. And others think that this actually helps the whole, this helps a lot of people kind of blow off steam by proxy.
Okay.
That everybody's got stressful jobs. A lot of people have stressful jobs that are the same day after day, or they're boring, but still stressful because, high volume and, concerns about what's happening at the home front and things like that. And they need outlets. People getting in there and commenting and having arguments about things she's raised, and about the fact that You know, the fact that this or that could be so much better if the hierarchy would just unfreeze their eyes from the current set of priorities, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's get a new NPC on the table.
Sure.
Do you want an NPC? Do you want this to be an NPC that approves or disapproves?
This is one, I think, one who approves, but has had to run interference for me.
Okay. Why don't you
Yes.
pick, look, if you look at that row 40, we've got 4 characters that are blank there. Why don't you pick one of them?
Sure. I'll take the third one. The guy
Okay.
with the cigarette. Or
Sure.
Maybe it's a dope stick.
Do they have a call sign?
They did. They are an ex-pilot.
Okay.
Some people still call them by their call sign. Nickname Stick.
Okay. Let's have you put that in there. He, him?
Him.
Okay.
And his call sign was Candlestick
Okay.
because he would light them up.
Okay. All right. Well, that gives us somebody that we may come back to. Now we kind of know what you're doing with your vlogging and doing that during that sort of first phase. Zeus, what are you doing?
Okay, so any mission after he's gotten a kill, he spends that first action sleeping in the rack, just to
Okay.
prepare for his nightlife.
So what's your space look like? You've probably given a little bit of privacy, given that you are pilots, even though it's a space station. So what do you think?
I think it's a bit of a jumble because he's kind of like a almost hoarder level. He's just got stuff everywhere. Some of it's, boxed electronics, some of it's, collectibles, but it's all over the place. He's got, he doesn't sleep on a normal bunk. He's turned it into almost like a hammock. It goes at an angle so that he sleeps kind of like pinioned up in the corner with all of his stuff around him.
So a little bit cluttered. Like, is there anything here besides the mess and stuff that is a personalization touch for you?
I think he'll probably have one family photo that's in a place right there up on the wall right next to where he sleeps. But it's not his parents, it's with his sister.
Mm-hmm. And when you sleep, do you sleep well? Do you sleep solid? Okay. No hesitation. No.
Yeah. When he gets a kill, he sleeps well.
Okay. What do you dream of?
I think I dream of my current crush, Amanda, and having a nice day out playing miniature golf, of all things.
That seems fair. Yeah, so we get that shot of you kind of go through, take a look at your room, get a sense of the mess that is in there. And then we swing back to Elsie. Elsie, for your second action, are you going to sleep?
Oh yeah, I'm already in my bunk, probably sitting down, staring at the floor a little bit, just because I got dressed down by the XO, who normally wouldn't even notice that I exist.
And what does your living space, your sleeping space look like?
Regulation. There's not much that's fancy about it.
Okay.
I've got a picture of my family back up on the wall, even though, well, things are rough there, but still. And that's about it. Might be a book or two around.
What do you read? Like, what is that? Is that a sign of personalization, or is it pure function for you?
I read romance novels, but a very particular kind of romance novel. I read Western romances.
Interesting.
So it's all about, well, my favorite Western romance author is Louis L'Amour.
Okay.
But Zane Grey is pretty good too. Because, you know, they always write about all this stuff about the cowboys and stuff, and that's fine and whatever. But, you know, there's always a woman involved. And I usually just think, like, what's her story? You know, why isn't she out there with the rifle or with the pistol or whatnot? You know, she's probably even a better shot than they are.
So you're adding a lot of subtext into the classic Western novels there.
I prefer to think of it as making them my own, finding myself in them. But yeah, subtext, I guess you could call it.
Who is, outside of the pilot group, your immediate team, who is like somebody that's your friend?
You know, the weird thing about this, especially since he's in a rival wing, Carson and I talk about these books. You know, we trade them back and forth if he hasn't read them. And, you know, we talk about relationships and that sort of thing. And, you know, I kind of think I might understand a little bit about where he gets his outdated ideas of relationships from, given what he reads, because he's not seeing what else is there. So,
Yeah.
but I talked to Carson about it.
You're pretty certain that Carson isn't his real name? That's one he took up because it sounded like a real cowboy name at some point.
It does. Kit
Okay.
Carson, in fact.
Yep. Excellent. That brings us back to Zeus. Zeus, you're kind of get up, and your other two compatriots have headed there for their bunks to crash. What is it that you do during this time?
I'm gonna nose around. Well, basically, he's going to his nightly card game with the techs. I think he's very friendly with the technicians and stuff like that, the people who have access to parts and, you know, requisitions and such.
Mhm.
And he always loses more than he wins, so they love to see him. I'm wondering, I'm looking for like one or two pieces of information.
Sure.
First one would be I'm trying to find out what Amanda call sign kill switch, what she might, you know, like, what anything that might, you know, be able to get me her attention for me. And
Okay.
the second one would be who would have the fortitude and the guts to get to take on Katya to get her attention off me.
Interesting. That feels like investigate. So let's have you go ahead and roll with that.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I got 2 there. Okay, it's gonna be 2.
Okay. So which question is more important to you?
Probably finding out about. I'm gonna go with the opposite. I'm gonna go with the who I can find to set up with Katya. That's what I'd like to set up for. I don't know, a meet cute or something.
And you will hear that there is a new tactical instructor who has just arrived. Let's put her in, and she'll be in that the woman who's in that B40.
So the first one on the left with the
Yeah.
purple. Okay.
Yeah. I'll let you give her a name.
Okay.
What you heard is that she was in another squadron out of another base and had been a highly effective pilot and ended up having to punch out of her ship. She had more than a dozen confirmed kills, if not more. But when she punched out, she took a piece of shrapnel, and she's lost a certain amount of her equilibrium. And right now, they're still working on it, but for the moment, she can't actually fly without essentially getting a kind of a vertigo attack. But they have put her here to do pilot sim training and basic combat training. Just arrived, and people describe her as very much knows exactly how good she is.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds perfect. I gave her a name of Wanda Larrabee,
Okay.
and her call sign was Whisper.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got her on the page there. Yeah, and you'll lose a few hands. People are always laughing and about that, but probably a couple of them realize that you're at least doing that to fit in.
Oh yeah, because I've always got an angle.
I like that you put Katya's interests ahead of your own, as it were. Okay.
It's a good change of pace for me.
Katya, you said you wanted to call a scene with Elsie.
Yes, I'd like that.
Okay, so this is post sleep while
Yep.
The duty folks are getting the ships prepped and doing the ordnance loadout and getting all the checks, and that you got about 90 minutes before you're going to be heading out. Where do you think you want to cross paths with Elsie so that you can talk with her?
I'll knock on her door.
Okay. Elsie, you're just getting all finished last bit of setup when unusually there's a knock.
Come on in.
Got a few minutes.
Yeah, we don't take off for 90, so.
Sure. But everybody has their own ways of killing time before a mission.
I don't know, enough time to get down to the cargo dock and hop in a loader.
Careful though, they'll make you a mechanic.
I'm thinking that wouldn't be so bad. I wouldn't have to fly out there and do the stuff. I could just hang out in here, fix ships, work on, hop down to the cargo bay and move stuff around. The XO had a talk with me.
I was wondering what was happening.
Yeah.
You looked like hell over breakfast. But I didn't wish to say anything.
Yeah, she's not real happy with me right now.
Because of the shot.
You miss 100% of the ones you don't take, right?
You don't need me to tell you cliches.
To tell me what?
Cliches.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not real thrilled about it. She stressed how we're a small force up against an overwhelming obstacle. And
You're lucky she didn't pull you off the line.
am I though? I mean,
You are.
Katya, let's be blunt. I'm a farm girl. I know about fixing stuff, and I know about moving stuff around and hauling stuff.
Yes, okay, let's be blunt. You are one of the most naturally gifted pilots I have ever met.
That doesn't mean I can shoot.
No. Prerequisite to can shoot is desire to shoot. That is absolutely true. But you're the only one who can assess that. I tell you, as I'm telling you, it would be a God cursed shame if you didn't fly something. But maybe an attack fighter is not it.
Just if I'm in a situation where I don't have a choice, I'm going to pull that trigger. Just do me a favor and make sure I'm not in a situation where there's a choice.
Can't do that.
I'll fly and I'll pull them off people. I'll fly in between ships if I have to. Just
Things you're very good at. But the problem is that every one of them who gets away comes back. And they, while you may not have murder in your heart, they most assuredly do.
maybe that pilot I spared won't.
It could happen.
I mean,
But-
change starts with small ripples. You know, you toss a pebble into a lake and ripples just go outward, right?
People, so I hear. But this is wartime, and people do what they are told, and more what they are highly trained to do, which is destroy their enemies.
You know, if it was a fox in the henhouse, I wouldn't think.
These are all foxes. And while we may not be hens, everyone back home is. You have to decide. No one can do this for you. But if you cannot find it in you to kill, I will not think the less of you. But you should not be a fighter pilot.
Like I said, just if they're coming down on one of you, I won't hesitate. I won't flinch. I don't think I'll feel bad about it. But just don't put me in a position where I have that choice. Like if you see it coming up and there's a fighter limping away, and just take that shot so I don't have to, please. Because I know you can. I know you will.
Yes. It's mostly what I'm good at. I am not as good a flyer as you. And I trained on considerably less sophisticated fighters. So some of the technological nuances escaped me even after a great many hours in simulators.
You trained on fighters though. I trained on planes. Like I didn't even train. I just learned how to fly planes on the farm, you know, make sure the crops got dusted with pesticides and whatnot. So
Everyone
at least
sucks. Yes.
you trained with guns. I didn't.
I know you will do your best.
All right, I think we're gonna cut that scene there. Let's take 10. When we come back, I'm gonna give Zeus a chance to call the scene and Elsie a chance to call the scene if you want. And then we're gonna move to a mission. So we'll come back at about 10 after, okay? So we're back. Zeus, is there a scene you'd like to call with a PC or an NPC in that sort of space that you have in between missions?
So what I have in mind is that I don't know how we role play this, but he won't shut up about this pilot scores on the simulators, because I'm sure, you know, when we're off duty, we fly in simulators and everybody's ranked and has scores just like that. And I just make sure that every time I'm around Katya for like, I mean, nonstop, it's like nothing but me talking about how awesome this pilot is. And we should go down and try and beat the scores.
So do you think are you trying to push, like, are you trying to compel one of Katya's aspects?
Oh yeah, let's see here. Let me get the characters.
Or are you compelling your own aspects and not doing this particularly well?
Yeah, probably push my own aspect of
Okay.
not doing it very well.
Then Katya, you may take a fate point, Zeus.
Okay.
So you can have 4 fate points. And I think that there's a point at which Katya, like you, do you think it's that you realize what's going on, or did that Zeus's pushing maybe comes a little bit too much? What do you think it is?
I think Zeus is thinks he's being subtle, and he's not. And after the third mention, I bang my palm on the table, and I go, enough about this this new instructor. Who the hell cares about simulation scores anyway? Or do you have a thing for her?
Well, I think anybody would have a thing for her, but no, I just thought you'd like to see, somebody who has the high score. I mean, he's looking a little sheepish and kind of closing in on himself a bit.
Simulations isn't real fighting. And I can name you 6 examples if you want.
Yeah, but I mean, it is an ace flying.
What do you mean, ace?
The pilot is an actual ace. Has
Cool. Yes, right. Cool.
confirmed kills.
Yes, as if they would send someone like that down to Tachyon Squadron for training.
It's her call sign. It's Whisper.
There's a pause. What do you mean? Whisper.
That's what she goes by, Whisper.
You mean Larrabee?
Yeah.
Whisper? You're shitting me.
No, you know her?
I know about her.
Okay.
Of course, if you ever paid attention to what was going on in other squadrons, you might know about her.
Well, I always know what the gutter punks are up to. I mean, I've just
Yes, that's because they parade in front of you twice a day.
yeah.
Larrabee's here.
Yeah.
I thought she was sidelined.
Yeah, I think it was some accident or some damage she took.
She was sent back. Yeah, she went back to hospital. Planet side.
No, I think they brought her in as a tactical instructor.
No shit.
Yeah, but I've never seen scores that high. I mean, I can't even
Fuck
beat
your
that.
scores. But she was the best.
Yeah, so
She could
it's a good thing she's here. I mean, we can use all the help we can get.
If she can teach, if you can get anything through your head, she'd be twice as valuable.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm not the only one who had a kill. I mean, at least I got a kill on the last mission. I mean, I did
didn't.
something.
Did I complain?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yes, well, I'm always trying to improve you or anybody else.
Yeah, well, I'll get better. I mean, you'll see.
Your skills are not in question. It's your discipline. You know that.
Well, barracks troops. I mean, no. Top fighter pilots make the worst barracks troops. Everybody knows that. It's just common knowledge.
Yeah, so it's a good thing we get shot at a lot. Those things might be even worse.
So I think I'm going to cut there.
Yes,
So-
unless you
so
want me to
I-
roll or provoke. I think
No,
that's
no,
a good
no,
place to
so-
stop this.
So I think that perhaps, maybe off screen, we see Larrabee speaking with call sign Whirlwind, just to make that like doubly complicated for future problems there.
Yes.
Elsie, do you have a scene you'd like to call?
No, I think Elsie's had enough screen time for the moment.
Okay. So we'll see you all load up. They kind of look and note that you're down a pilot as you head out, and they will essentially give you your patrol route, essentially to send you out. You are met up by Squadron Commander Karan, comes down and kind of looks and says, where's your fourth?
Breath, pulled him off.
All right. I'll see what I can do. Look,
So we're going to get a newbie.
no, I don't have anybody to spare to throw in. Talking about seeing if I can get your man back on your team or not. We'll get that moved up. I already scrambled the gutter punks for another mission, so otherwise I'd peel off one of them for you. But Katja, can you handle it with 3?
Yes.
Okay. We've got a reports of a non-communicative spacecraft hovering in, and he kind of pulls up some stuff on his data pad in a space lane here. We're not sure what's going on with it, but we want you to head out and take a pass and see what's going on. I don't have any kind of ident beacon or anything on it right now. It could be nothing. It could be a trap. I'm not sure what it is, but play it cautious. There's no need for any of you to get taken out on just an intelligence run. All right.
All right.
All right. And he heads off. And we're going to cut to what do you think the launching looks like for these? Are we a BSG style launching, or are we a more classic Star Wars style launching? What do you think, Elsie?
I feel like it's old school Battlestar Galactica, launching the Vipers.
Launching Vipers. So we got some kind of mass driver thing that fires you out to get you that initial breakaway from the station and the grav well here, and torques the 3 of you out a little bit, one slightly staggered as you come out, and we see you flying out onto patrol. And then it's that in-system, high speed, but it's a couple of hours of flying in the big black there. Some comms, some communication between you, sensors going, but a lot of nothing. No up, no down. Just, okay, the sensor's just telling me this is the way we're going. And you're not that far out from the area of the space lane where you've got the report. It's a fairly big swath, so you're gonna have to run some passes to track it down. When you get a transmission over your comms that comes in, and you will hear, Mayday, this is a cargo starship Neptune conveyor. We are under attack. Request assistance from any able spacecraft in the vicinity. Coordinates accompanying on things. Mayday, Mayday, anyone. Well, we're not uncertain of not sure. We're a cargo vessel. We're unarmed. We are under assault. Katya, your team leader. Continue to original place or follow up on Mayday.
Mayday's got a higher priority than checking up on a vessel of uncertain status.
And we'll see your ships peel and boost from that position there and heading off. You can pull up basic things. Neptune Conveyor is a C-14 Atlas. It's a cargo hauler. And it checks out, like you're able to run it cross-reference with flight manifests and station inbounds and things like that to make sure that this isn't just somebody spamming something to draw you off. And we will see you heading in. And at the start of engagement, we do the detection phase. And let's go to that. So during the detection phase, get back to the steps here. The starts with us all making a tech roll for detection.
Should we remove these old advantages?
I've got them up as aspects. We'll fill them in as we need to.
Okay, great. I have a 1.
Okay.
I have a, we second flip back over here. Technology,
Yep.
Yes.
that's +4 for me.
Okay. So 0.
Ezekiel?
And what did you get, Zeus?
Okay, so I'm activating the Hawkeye sensor booster. So I've got 2 pluses and a negative. So does the blank and the negative go to 2 pluses to give me 4 across the board?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so that'll put me up at 5.
Okay. So we're nobody's going to be undetected in this because I didn't beat you and my lowest guy didn't get beat. So you succeeded with style there, Zeus. So one of the things that you'll pick up in the detection phase here is there are a set of ships here, a set of gators that were coming up. I'll put them on the table here in just a second with some set of screens. But at a distance, at a very far off signal, you'll detect a D-99 Corvette and a couple of gators that are moving away at maximum thrust. You're not sure what's going on with that.
So the Corvette and the fighters are moving away. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I'll go squad leader. I've got readings of a capital ship, Corvette, and a couple fighters. They're looks like they're running. I don't know what's going on, but they're out there.
Makes no sense unless there's something going on we don't know about. Shit. How many bogies around the cargo ship?
3 pairs of gators and 2 screens.
It's a lot of fighters. Crap. Your call, Zeus. I'd love to have eyes on that capital ship.
I'll try to keep the capital ship in range as long as possible for the sensors, but yeah, I think we need
You
to.
have you have permission to break off and keep and if to keep track of it.
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right. So we are going to make overcome rolls with tactics. And whatever your total roll is, you'll put yourself on that row. As you may recall, I'm going to roll for our 3 wings here. They are rolling with that. So that's going to be 3. That's going to be 8.
I got a +4 on that roll.
That's nice. Okay.
It's easy when you roll blanks and, you know, got a +4 for pilot.
Oh, yeah, you have
and swap out
a
tactics.
total of 4. I thought you meant that rolled a 4 on top of your impressive.
No. I think we only get one of those, like maybe 2 of them in our lifetimes. I had mine last week, so.
Fighter pilots live highly compressed lives.
Okay. And I am going to put our screens as flight 1 with 2 invokes and flight 2. Oops. With 2 more invokes. So those are on the table. Who do we not yet have on the board? Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's it. We got that set. You're on the table. Everything's cool. That's that first round. We're going to work our way down from the top to the bottom. And you can attack someone who's in the lower area. Remember, we've got sort of a step 1 and step 2 of your action phase. And some actions take both of those. Some only take 1. So who's green?
That would be Zeus.
Zeus, what's your play?
Okay, so I think for the first thing I want to do is I want to create an advantage with my tactics.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay within range of the capital ships and keep them on the radar basically with my long range Hawkeye and still stay in the fight.
Tactics versus tactics. Let's roll. Oh, I've got a 1.
I got a 2.
Okay. So what do you want to call that aspect? You're going to get 1 invoke on it. And remember to check if any of your stunts affect these things.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Sure. What do you think? It's just standard, a close maneuvering or parallel maneuvering, something like that?
Let's call a long range tracking.
Long range tracking. Okay. And so that's on step 1. What do you want to do on your step 2?
Step 2. I'm going to set up another action advantage. I'm going to be using gunnery to try and lay out some tracer fire for everybody to fall in on.
Okay, so gunnery versus pilot on this one. So I end up with a 3.
Oops. Okay. And I end up with, okay, what's it doing? It just rolled twice.
Got a -1, it looks like.
Okay, so then it's gonna be a 1 for me.
Okay, so you don't fail, essentially they don't succeed with style against that. So you try to get that gunnery fire, but they're already slipping and maneuvering around, trying to get into position. So we shift down to +4. Who's purple?
That would be me.
Okay, Elsie, what do you want to do?
First thing I want to do is create an advantage.
Okay,
I want to fly around these ships in such a way that I force them to group together tightly.
okay. So that feels like pilot versus pilot.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, let's do it to it. I'll
That's a
spend
5
one of
for
my
me.
fate points. So 2 plus that. So I'll end up with a 3.
I still have a
So-
5.
What do you want to call that? Tight grouping?
Works for me.
Okay. And you got
And-
one invoke in that.
The second thing I want to do is create an advantage. I want to use my good hunting stunt
Okay.
using rapport to basically put it out on the put it out on comms. Hey, this is a can't miss shot. I mean, they're clustered together so tightly that all you have to do is point in their general direction.
All right. Then let's have you roll with rapport.
So that is +2 from the stunt, +2 from rapport. So that's a total of +4.
Mhm.
That's a total of +4.
That is a +4. So you will get an invoke, but you get a bonus invoke because of your thing. What do you want to call that?
Can't miss.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the table. So we've got 4 free invokes on the table there. When we come to you, Katya, because you're the PCs, I'm going to let you go before this guy in terms of rolling, but this is going to happen simultaneously.
And so, yeah, they're basically, and these have all peeled off of the target.
Yeah, essentially,
deal
as
with
soon
us.
as you come in, they will move, and you can tell that this is a pirate group. And it looks like they are figuring that they're going to clear you out because then they'll be able to work on their target at their own leisure.
Makes sense. All right. So we have can't miss and something else. Long range sensors, right?
We
Oh.
have on the table long range tracking, tight grouping, and can't miss.
Okay. I can't see all of that for something, but I'll take it. I'm going to go after group 2.
Okay.
One of the pilots in group 2. I'm going to
Okay.
to blast past them, do a 180 flip, and get onto his 6,
Okay.
and see if I can't make his life slightly more.
Are you doing the full phase on their tail?
I'm doing full face on the tail.
Okay. So you're going to position yourself above and get that. So you attack your target with the +2 bonus to your attack roll.
Okay, that is 4, 6, 8.
Okay. Piloting for them is going to be a 4. So that is going to do 4 base. And you've got weapon 1 on your ship, right?
Yes, so that's
Okay.
5 base. I'm going to tag can't miss to get 7 out of it.
Okay.
And if I have to tag the other one, I will too, but
Oh no, that's gonna pop the shields and go right on through. And one of the that pair, number 2, is going to be essentially you wipe one of them right away, just cream him off of there. So we're going to kind of put a red background there to show that they've got one down on that. At the same time, The pilots on ship 1 are going to move to take their shots on you. Let's see. Standard action here. I think that they are going to chart of actions here. So I think they're going to snapshot at you on step 1. And then afterwards, they might try and refocus. Let's start with this first guy, ship 1, guns. He's going to take that shot at you, Katya.
Mhm.
So I'm rolling with a +3 for gunnery. That gives me a 4, and I'm going to invoke one of the screens to take that to a +6.
I got a flat roll, which means I have my piloting, which is 3.
Okay.
And I'll take it on the shields.
Okay, so your shields will get blown up by that first shot. Second shot from the pair will follow in. Oh, I'm going to spend one of my fate points to reroll that with their deadly impair aspect. That was bad. That's better. That gives me a 4 for that second shot on you.
It's better than I got.
Okay, got a couple of free invokes on the table, plus you got fate points.
I will take the other one of can't miss, that they're bunched up, and I'm
Okay.
going to burn a fate point on veteran pilot
Okay.
to twist out of the way and turn my crappy 1 into a 5.
Okay, so you will be able to evade all of the damage on that. They are going to do a tactical refocus here. See if they can do that. Gives them a 1 +1, and we use the flight. So these guys will copy, cut. Well, tactical refocus up to 5. There. All right, let's see what our options are for the other guys. They are going to have to, this group that you were on is going to have to try to shake off your tail there. So go ahead and roll your tactics, Katya, versus theirs. Oof. I got to eat another fate point to get that to a 4.
Well, my dice froze up on me and I got a 1.
Okay. So they are going to essentially copy, cut. They're going to break that tail, and they are going to roll at the beginning of the next round to see where they end up. So they've broken away from the tail,
Gotcha.
which means you don't get the escalating bonus,
Mhm.
but we'll see where they actually end up on the next round. The other one, they are going to have to, since you're not on your tail, they can't fire on you. They are going to create an advantage and then tactically refocus. So they are going to try and move in close to pin you in, Katya, since you're the closest. So tactics versus tactics for this create advantage. And I've got a 1.
I'm thumping my dashboard with one fist and in annoyance. Come on, you bastard. You can do better than that. I think it's reroll time.
You want to spend it to do a reroll?
Yes.
Okay. Are you tagging one of your own aspects, or you want to use one of the free invokes?
I am.
We got one left on long range tracking, tight grouping, and can't miss.
I'll tag one on tight grouping.
Okay. So you can re-roll, or you can take just a flat +2.
So, but he got a 1, yeah.
Yep.
So I'd still lose on a +2.
Okay. Let's have you re-roll.
And that's a 2.
Okay. So will not create an advantage, won't boost their stuff, but he is going to make a tactics roll to reset. Ugh. That's a 2. On that would be a 0. Let's burn this other flight aspect and at least take us to a 2. So he'll stay where he is. So all 3 of them did refocus or maneuvering, so they're not going to drift down. So, but all of you will drop down 1 level. So you can go ahead and move yourselves down. We're going to start back with Zeus. Zeus, this first of the pair popped up onto your level, kind of running parallel with you.
I think I'm going to try and I'm going to drop down on the tail of the wounded pair where
Okay.
there's only one of them.
All right.
So I move from here and I go to here.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that you drop down right on top of them.
Perfect. You attack with a +2. Defend with pilot.
So that's +2 plus gunnery. So it's a 4.
Okay, I've got a 2. Yeah, I've got a 2, so that'll blow out its shields.
Is there any way for me to increase the damage with the straight
Well,
bait spend? Or
absolutely. All you have to do is do the invokes, do you pen, because you essentially you're just increasing the margin of success. So the more successful you are, the more damage you're doing.
okay, so if I think I
If
see
you were to
there's
do 2 more invokes, just to tell you, if you do 2 more invokes to bump it up by 4, you'll take it out.
okay, so I'm going to invoke the can't miss. I
Okay.
think it's still there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I have to invoke 1 more. This is the group that you got on and they fired back and hit her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to invoke my relationship thing with Katja.
Okay.
And that costs a fate point, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And that will blow it away. You may both of you mark a kill, and Katya, don't forget, because you got hit, to mark a stress on your character.
Yes, thank you.
We go to group 1. I think that they are going to let's see what the better play is here. They are going to, since you came down, they're going to move on you, Zeus, and take their shots on you. So let me get to my tracker here. So they're going to drop down. Cut. Paste. Try to get on your tail and do that. So they are rolling this with a +5. So I've got a 6 on you with the first volley.
Okay.
You defend with pilot.
Okay. Let me make the roll. Need a 3, so I'm at 0.
Okay. That might be a time to do a reroll.
Yeah. I'll burn a point for reroll.
Okay. What do you got? Long range tracking left, and we've got your own fate points and your own aspects.
I think that's going to be Trying to. And my own aspects,
Mhm.
I've got. Sorry, there's a lot of sheets.
I know. I got so many tabs here.
Can I go with? I mean, Kate is not here, so I can't pop that one. The rivalry to just to have a
I know
bit-
he's going to
a
have
good
to
story.
watch this. He's gonna
Sure,
have to
yeah,
watch
he's gonna
this.
watch we're just gonna
Okay.
watch the camera, the
Yeah.
nose
All right.
cams.
All right, so I'll pop that one,
Okay.
and that's spending a fate point.
Yep. It's good you got that extra one.
Rerolls. All right, come on.
Oh, look
there
at
we go.
that.
Okay, so that puts me up at 6.
You magnificent bastard. You absolutely roll out of the way of that shot from that one. The other volley from the other guy. Oh, that's a 0 plus 3. So I've got a 5 on you with the other shot.
I've got a 4.
Okay. So if you want to, you can just mark a shield.
Yeah,
Okay.
and a stress.
And a stress. I'm going to put that yellow there to mark that you're being tailed right now. Okay.
Okay.
Elsie, back to you. We've still got one screen that's left with some effect. It's just one invoke. And we've got these 2 pairs there that are up and have not been touched.
Okay, so when do we do our refocus move? Is it one of these 2 moves that we get to take?
Yeah. So if you want to do a tactical refocus, you do that
Mhm.
on step 2. So you could snapshot and then do that, or you could create an advantage and then do that.
Yeah, I want to create an advantage.
Okay.
Because I really don't like it when ships drop down and try to shoot my wingmates.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to zoom past these ships as close as I can.
Okay.
Like I want to rattle them. Like I want them thinking that I'm going to collide with them.
Perfect. Pilot versus pilot. Oh, I got a -1. Yeah, -1.
So that's +2 once you factor in my pilot skill.
Okay. So you're going to have a success with that one. In fact, 1, 2, 3. So I think that's actually success with style. So let's call that close brush.
Sure
So
thing.
put that on the table with 2 invokes on it. And then you said you wanted to do a tactical refocus for your second.
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead and make a tactics roll.
Oh, I got to roll with tactics.
Yeah, for when you do the tactical refocus, you roll with tactics, and
Okay.
we're going to position your ship.
I didn't. I was wondering if the pilot bonus effect there switched over. So
So we look at your thing there. This is that equipment that you have.
No, this is done.
yeah, instinctive flyer, but that's only for maneuver phase.
That maximize 1 die in your overcome action to determine your placement. So it works for this.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
you get to maximize 1 of your dice. So one of your dice is going to turn from a -1 to a plus.
Okay, then.
Okay. And then after this phase, it's going to be 2 of those dice that are going to maximize. So rather you had 2 minuses, right? You were at -2.
Yes.
Okay. So then it becomes a -1 and a +1. So it would be a 0. So what is your tactics?
Tactics is at +1.
Okay. So right now, without invoking anything, you'd be at the 1 slot on that refocus, but you're not going to drift down.
Oof.
Do you want to invoke one of your things? You can invoke the close brush and take yourself up to 3.
Can I tag an aspect?
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to tag my Katja as a role model aspect because, I mean, I can't let this go down like this. Katja's right there.
Okay. Do you want to invoke a second one and pop yourself up to 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do that.
What's your other invoke?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take one of the invokes on close brush.
Good call. So put yourself up at 5. So far, the most people are going to be drifting down. So, but you're going to be staying in place there at 5. Let's come to this happened simultaneously, but let's resolve you first, Katya, on +2.
Take a snapshot
Okay.
at my opposite number there.
All right. So this is versus piloting. Oh, I got to spend that last flight invoke. So essentially the flight swarms are going to be off the table. I've got to re-roll these. Ugh, not much better. I've got a 1.
I have a 5.
So that's going to pop the shields and do 2 hits on there. Just a little bit more would take one of these guys out.
And I'll invoke the close brush
Okay.
as he swerves. He swerves, and I in a predictable fashion.
Perfect. So I'm going to resolve both their attacks, but one of them is blown out of the sky by that shot. Since it's happened simultaneous. So first one, let's see. They are going to, I think they're going to have to snapshot.
Where are
Yeah, let's standard snapshot for this first one. And that's going to be a +1. You can defend with pilot.
That's what I'm hoping to do, and I have a 1.
Okay. So that is a tie, so they'll get a boost on you. We'll say it's the one that got blown up, so its boost will go away, just so I don't have to track anything. The other one of the pair is going to take their snapshot. And let's see, that will be a 3 for their shot on you.
And I have a 3. So
Okay.
I am just staying ahead of the tracers
Yeah.
by about 10 millimeters.
So the other one in the pair does have a boost, which I'm going to use here. Roll tactics versus tactics. I've got a 5.
This is a repositioning.
That it's actually, he's creating an advantage.
Oh, he's creating an advantage.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly does.
So what'd you get?
I got 2.
2. So 5, so he succeeds with style. So I'm going to put essentially he positions 2 of the fighter extra swarms back into position, putting 2 invokes on those. Essentially calls them in and gets them into serve as more screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody drops 1.
I have a second action.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have resolved that. Let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to try and create an advantage.
Okay.
Because Zeus is being tailed.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to send a hail of gunfire into the tailing path just after Zeus has vacated it.
Okay.
Which
So
is,
that feels like gunnery versus pilot.
yep, gunnery versus pilot.
Okay, I've got a 0.
And I have a 6.
Okay, what do you want to call that?
Hail, hail of gunfire.
Hail of gunfire with 2 invokes on it gets created. Okay, so we've got for you guys 5 free invokes on the table, so you know that. Purple stays in place. Everybody else drops down 1 level.
Can I send out a short radio message to Butterfly?
Sure.
Butterfly, stay on Katya's. I got the ones on my tail right where I want them.
Copy.
Okay. Elsie.
I realized that I'm going to do something really shocking here and create an advantage.
Okay. Now let me tell you about something else that
Yes.
you can do. You may have seen this on some of the non-attack actions. Another thing that you can do is you can actually push another target down the maneuver chart. Essentially, it's an overcome action. It's pilot versus pilot. If the aggressor wins, push the defender down the maneuver chart. And you do that on step 2. So
Need some help here, Elsie.
Give me 2 moments real quick.
Okay.
This just comes over the comp.
And your margin of success is how far they get pushed down.
Okay. The funny thing is what I said off mic would have worked perfectly well. It was quit at you two. Cats, right?
Oh, yeah. So you can do that on step 2. So if you want to create advantage on your first step.
Let's see. We still have long range tracking, close brush, tight grouping, and actually we have long range tracking, close brush, and hail of gunfire with invokes, correct?
Yes.
I mean, what about that capital ship? Can we use these invokes on the capital ship as well?
I don't think so, because you're far enough away. It's down in the special range that it's kind of clear right now.
All right. So prior to taking an action, I want to ask, could I go off to get eyes on that capital ship?
The capital ship. Oh, the capital ship isn't anywhere within range. It was at the very edge of long range sensors. If you were to do that, you'd be leaving the fight at that point.
Okay.
And by this point, we're a couple of rounds into maneuvering, so it's had a chance to get some distance.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. In that case, I will. I'll go ahead and create an advantage for the first move.
Okay.
And more or less what I want to do is push this ship right into Katya's line of fire.
Okay.
And again, I want to do this with my piloting skill.
Absolutely.
So I'm just basically going to kind of line up my ship with this other pilots and kind of nudge them over. It's one of those things like, I am willing to collide with you. You'd better move. Almost like playing chicken.
Which is your target, the number 1 or the number 3?
Oh, that's right. They're both still around.
And I can't, because I can't fire at the number 1 because he's above me. So you'd have to push him down if you want to shoot him.
Well, let's start with your advantage creation first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So
pilot versus pilot. And
that's +5 for me.
I end up spend that +3. So you'll get 1 invoke on that. What do you want to call it?
Lunatic.
Okay. And then on your second phase, if you want to
go ahead and try that overcome.
Okay.
On ship 1.
Perfect.
Down at number 3.
Real quick, can I interject? Because I'm setting up a stunt move on that one. That's why I tried to get you to go against number 3.
Ooh, okay. So it needs to stay where it is for you to be able to do that?
It needs to stay where it is.
Now, mind you, if you push down number 3, that means that Katya will be able to fire on it before it can do anything.
All right. Then I will do the overcome on number 3.
Okay. So I end up with a total of 1.
And what am I using this with? Tactics or piloting?
Piloting.
Okay. And I wind up with +2.
Okay. So he's going to get pushed down by 1 unit, which means that puts him in good position for Katya. All right. Next is 1. 1 is going to open up on.
Because I don't know how the timing of this works, but I was going to use the toe pick thing, which is once per session, you may switch on your tail with someone who is on my tail. basically I do the maneuver where we switch positions.
Yeah, let me.
It doesn't really
Is that
say
before or
exactly
after
when.
that he fires? That's the
Yeah,
question.
let me take a look there and see if there's any. So it's actually using the on the tail action against someone who's on your tail. So you do it on your action.
Okay, so
So they're still going to get
get
a
a shot
shot
first. Okay.
but you'll get to do that.
Okay.
So this is first guy gunnery on you with gunnery 3, second round of another +3, so this +6. So I've got a +5 against you with that first guy.
Okay. And I got it's a -1, so 2.
Okay, so right now you're taking 3 hits.
And there's free.
Yeah, we got a bunch of free invokes.
Um,
Invoke 2 of those to eliminate that.
okay, I'm gonna use one of the close brushes.
Okay, essentially as Elsie comes past.
how
And
much-
the other one?
Hail of Gunfire was designed to peel that guy off.
Okay, so yeah, close brush and hail of gunfire. I'll use those
Okay.
2.
So you take nothing from that first guy.
Okay.
Second guy. Same thing, +5.
Okay. It's a flat roll, so it's a 3. If I invoke the last of the hail of gunfire, will that?
That'll
Do
take
it.
you to tie. So he'll have a boost against you if he survives.
Okay.
Or he can have a boost against you when he operates against you, but he doesn't do any damage to you.
So the hail of gunfire was perfect.
Yeah.
It's-
And then they come down initiative order to you. Do you want to do that thing where you flip them?
Yep.
Okay. Then you can go ahead and do that on the tracker. I'll cut him and drop him down to where you are. There we go. Shoo.
Okay.
And now you are on his tail.
Alrighty. So the bonus, one real quick rules question.
Sure.
For spending fate points on the aspects, those don't go away. You can just keep popping them.
The fate point goes away, but the aspect stays. Yeah.
Okay. So you can use the
Yeah.
aspect.
And
multiple times.
and because we got those aspects that are on the table that we created, like the gunfire stuff, you could invoke those by spending a fate point as well.
Okay.
It's just the kind of the color that you want to add to your descriptor there.
Okay.
So right now you're running gunnery plus an additional +2 at the moment
Okay.
versus their pilot.
So yeah, I'm just gonna do snapshot on them, I guess, or no? Do I use the full action to stay on their tail?
You did, yeah. You're on the tail, so you get that +2 bonus, and you take your shot.
Okay.
And I've got a -1.
Smoke him.
That'll
You
do it.
did it.
3 + 2, that's a 5.
So 6. So one of those 2 will just absolutely get fragged by that. So another one of the pair is down. And that's a full action. You are still on the tail of the other guy. So next round, if you're still in that position, you will be at +3.
And you just hear me screaming on the mic, toe pick.
Let's come to Katya.
Okay, well, the Elsie's pushed him down into perfect thing. I'm going to swing around and line up his 6
Perfect.
and see if I can't put a couple shots up his flight tubes.
This versus gunnery. Oh, that's a flat. I'm going to spend one of these flights to take that to a 3. And I'll invoke my last fate point. I'll take that to a 5.
Let's see. I have.
Are you on? Are you setting yourself on their tail?
I did, yes.
Okay, so you added the +2 for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I have a basic 5
okay,
between my roll, which is not great, and on the tail. And there is, I'm going to use Elsie's advantages, lunatic. And there's one close brush left, you said. And then to frost the cake. I will use that Elsie reminds me of my sister Elena.
nice.
Especially since I have a perfect recording of her sideswipe maneuver that almost ended up with the two planes smacking into each other.
Perfect. So that will take you enough that you will smoke the last one in that before he can even go. All right. Let's see here. Everyone drifts down. Let's not worry about that since everybody's drifting. And come back up. This is third round, or fourth round, actually, I think. Elsie, top of the line.
Okay. Let me double check this.
There is one free invoke left on the table, and they have one free invoke left on the table.
Okay, and they've got flight 1 to invoke.
Yep.
I had to
That's
refresh it.
Yeah, that's their swarm.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to take the radical step of creating an advantage.
Okay. And you can also thin their swarm as one of your actions if you wanted, either on phase 1 or step 2.
Yeah. So let me
What do you call this? What are you doing?
I'm just going to fly up on that last ship real close. And I think I figured this out because I'm pretty good with tech, but I'm actually just going to actually bump into the shields, which should have a sort of a recoil effect.
Okay.
And bounce them off a little bit and make things a little bit rougher for handling for a moment.
Okay. Pilot versus pilot. Oof.
All right. So I'm already ahead, but when you add the +4 in.
Oh, yeah. Shield bump.
Yeah.
Shield bump with 2 invokes. Your second phase?
Let's go ahead and take out flight 1.
Okay.
And just clear them out.
All right. So thinning the swarm is gunnery versus piloting.
Oh, gunnery. I don't think I'm actually that good at gunnery. So let's see. That's a +2. Let's see what we got here.
Oh.
All right. So that is +1, I think.
Okay. Well, I've got a 0, so that will take out that last free aspect and free invoke on that one. Essentially, you drive them off with a sort of a rough batch of fire that will drive them off.
Yeah.
You have this guy tailed. Let's come to you, Zeus.
All right, so does the second round of tail increase the bonus or?
Yes, now you're at +3.
3, okay. So,
So that versus pilot. I have no more invokes. Oh, that's his ass right there.
okay, it's a flat roll, so that would be a 2 plus the bonus was 4?
3.
3. Okay, so 5 total.
5. Because my total was a -1. That's 6 shifts. What does that look like? Like how is it that you finish off this last guy that you have on your tail? You're on his tail.
I think it's almost teamwork because of Butterfly coming in and setting up the shield bump and taking out their advantage through the flight. It just gives a perfect target, and I just crack the ship in half and fly through the debris.
Nice. And yeah, you would be just this smoking mess of things there, and you will get a call in from the Neptune conveyor. This Neptune conveyor to Draconis, much appreciated. Do you have a techie? We've got a failing life support right now. Anybody? I mean, we got some people here, but we took some serious damage.
Yes. We'll detail. Who's our best tech?
That's me.
Chelsea.
And I think you can swoop in to give them basic repairs.
Neptune
And
conveyor, report on capital ship scene.
we haven't seen a capital ship.
Shit.
And you'll check in. You've got some telemetry on where that group went, but they were at sort of far range. They clearly weren't involved in this like sortie, but they might have been connected in some way. But you'll talk to Neptune Conveyor and they'll be like, yeah, no, we just saw this swarm of pirates that came in at us. If there was another group, they were running long range combat on us.
Yes, well, clearly they were staying at the maximum detection range. And then they fled as soon as we came in, meaning that they were trying to avoid detection altogether, and they would have normally. But we got a lucky spot on them. But we'll just have to report them in and hope for the best. There's nothing we could tangle with anyway.
So here's the question. Anybody take structural damage?
No.
Okay. So you take whatever stress for taking hits. But if you want, you can continue on to check out this a ship that's floating in the space lane.
We do.
Okay. Let's take quick 5 and we'll come back and we'll resolve that. Get that set up. Okay.
See you in 5.
5. So your ships are a little singed, but in good shape. What do you think that shield refresher thing that you've got? Like, what's the glow or look on that we see, Katya, when that goes off?
It is these are old ships, and the shield refresher thing, the reason it takes up both slots is it's a load on the power pack. So the cabin lights dim a little bit
Nice.
when it kicks in with this thump kind of a sound, which I've gotten used to, but was pretty startling the first time it did
Nice.
it. But I pat the little readout. It's clearly an aftermarket thing, because it's a control box that's been welded onto the dashboard. There's a hole drilled in the dashboard with a thick cable that snakes down through there. And I pat it affectionately every time it kicks in. And but after the battle, I go, you keep me alive, and I'll keep us coming back to base.
We will see the 3 of you coming up. You, Zeus, pick it up first with your long range sensors. Thing that strikes you is usually your long range sensors detect electronics, detect energy, detect noise, things like that. It's only once you get close and you start like picking up mass that you actually get a ping on this. And you will head in and you can see that there is a big passenger vessel hanging there dead in space. Essentially like a passenger transport vessel, little luxury to it. You can see the markings on the side, identify it as the North Star. And you all will do a pass over it. And you can see that its engines are destroyed, just completely destroyed. Scorch marks dot the hull. You can see gunfire marks across it. And when you take that sweep down where you run your lights across it, you can see that the major key airlock has been torn open. And
That's in breaching charge.
breaching charge, just torn off. The thing that will bother you the most is you expect no life signs. There aren't any. But you're running, Zeus, you're running your scans. You're not picking up any significant organic material. There are no bodies there.
Say again, Zeus.
Yeah, Mockingbird, I don't know what the sensors are telling me. It's saying that there's no organic material there.
Check the fucking calibration.
Doing so, reboot. You hear a couple crunches as he kicks the machine, and it's like,
Let's have you make a tech roll here.
All right. Two.
I think you can be pretty sure you got some time to do this, to check this out. There are no passengers, there are no crew. There's no persons, dead or alive, on that ship.
Yeah, readings are clear. There's nobody there.
Oh, fuck.
Elsie, what are you up to?
I'm looking at the ship. I mean, so the engines are destroyed, correct?
Oh yeah.
Is there any way that I can tell what kind of weapon would have been required to do that?
Sure. Let's have you make a tech roll.
That is 3 on the fate dice plus 3 for tech.
Oh yeah. You're looking at the pirate fire. You can tell they must have had a coordinated team. It isn't like a big gun did this, not like a wave motion gun or a particle accelerator or anything like that. Just coordinated, smart, sustained targeting. And then you got a chain reaction that went across those engines.
And this is the pirates that did this, correct?
You're looking at it, you're pretty certain. I mean, judging by the patterns, the scorch marks, things like this isn't what the Union does. This is pirate.
I will relay all that on comms. And if there's no organics on board, that means they've got to be someplace else.
But why would they? I mean, even if they had the capability of taking off the entire ship's complement, why would they do that? Okay,
Are we sure they didn't become pirates themselves?
I'm pretty sure that not every single passenger on board the ship would become pirate, because if the entire crew had gone pirate, they would have taken the ship with them. We're stopping off to see if we can find a black box. They may not have. Some of those are in unusual places. They may not have spotted them. I don't know what else to do. Do you have an idea?
They have to have had a flight pattern, and I think part of the flight pattern package is a manifest of passengers.
Yes, they will.
Might be see if there's anybody important on there.
Let's get an identification from them and look to see if there's a flight recorder that they missed.
So problem is you guys aren't built for like 0G or spacewalk at this point.
No, we're not really.
This feels like something where we stay here and wait for, well, call back to the base and wait until they get a crew out here that can actually handle all this, don't we?
Yes, I think so. We'll drop a beacon.
You will call back Tachyon Squadron Commander Karans takes your report. He says, hang on a second.
Standing by.
Looks like the North Star did a jump-in system. It came out of the Republic system of Gamma Corvus and went missing about 2 months ago. All right. Drop your beacon and come back, and we'll send out a cover crew with a team that can scramble and get on board. But I want the three of you back.
Beacons away, coming back with pilots and photographs.
And we'll see the three of you heading back to base. And that's what we're going to start out next session, is with our decompression, NPC talk, get our third man back on board, and take on for there. Sound good?
Yes.
Works for me.
Katya says, by the way, you two. Pretty decent flying.
That's the faint praise.
If Katya ever tells you you're amazing and terrific, you should fall over.
You hear a chuckle over the comms. Oh, sorry. Radio discipline.
Let's cut to quick stars and wishes, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's start with you, Puckett. Stars and wishes.
Stars. So one of the things that was really interesting to me was at the end where we were trying to figure out what happened with the ship, and it seemed like everybody was coming at it from different perspectives. The dogfights are always fun because of the way people color how they're approaching it. But that bit at the end with the mystery, that was what really got me for the session. As well as like the really, like Brandon, the scene after the XO chewed on Elsie and Katya and Elsie started talking. That was really enjoyable. Harry, I really just like the way that, like, that kind of, it's not quite flippant, lackadaisical, I think is the word I'm looking for. Tone that you bring to things with Zeke, where it's like, yeah, I guess I'll shoot this person, or I guess I'll, open fire on this ship. Is there a snack compartment in this fighter? I mean, it's just like this kind of fun, but really relaxed style that you bring to it. So I really appreciate that. Wishes, the mystery of this freighter.
Okay.
I want to find out what happened.
Excellent. Harry?
Stars all around. System, this is my second game of Fate, so I'm starting to learn it, which is pretty good. But I think the stars go to Puckett with Elsie's scene with the XO and standing up for yourself. I thought that was well put. Even when he reacted with the long-winded retort, but I think that was perfect. And I think another star is Brandon saving my idea there in the end, so to make the scene. I think that was awesome. Just to see if we go anywhere with that, that'd be interesting. I think for wishes, yeah, I think that the freighter mystery is up top, but I do want to see how the social thing pulls out back at base.
Nice. And Brandon?
Quite a number of things, but to select a few of them. The conversation between Elsie and Katya. And and Elsie finding ways to be deadly without actually shooting at anyone, because she really did. And her, and very appropriate standing up to the EXO, even if from an outside perspective, it was it's cringeworthy in some important ways. The more the more I learn about Zeus, the better I like him, because he comes off at the beginning as being, this lazy, self-centered person, but he's is self-centered and involves other people so much. And thank you so much for bringing in the setup for Katya next time. And then that sort of laziness juxtaposed with terrific diligence in a fighter craft. I mean, this incredibly, this discipline, this slam the inertial brakes and flip maneuver that could only have been learned through, practicing it, 10,000 times, obsessively in order to get it right. And he pulls it off right there in front of everyone. So wishes is, the mystery, of course, but relationship fireworks. There's potential for both positive and negative fireworks, and I look forward to both of them, whatever combination or order they happen to land.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. I had a good time. I felt like it moved a little smoother. I was it's glad to see people pulling out tricks tonight, little combat tricks. That was fun. And I look forward to seeing you chew on the mystery, and to, as you say, relationship fireworks will be a delight. I am going to stop the recording.